When I joined the force, I was 18 or 19 years old, something like that. I was more or less not in too bad a shape. Then my whole world changed.
When they came to Helena with the accelerated schedule that they had to follow in order to prepare for their initial mission of jumping into Norway, physical conditioning was one of the key elements of that.
The training was rough and tough and fast.
They built an assault course for us to go over, which we nicknamed Muscle Mountain. We all got to enjoy it.
One of the notable landmarks of Fort Harrison that the force will remember certainly is Muscle Mountain, and I'm not sure the forcemen speak kindly of it.
You run up the one side and down the other, and all the things were put on there. And by the time you got through that, you knew you were into something. I made a comment once about I thought I was in shape till I got here.
The features that almost each forceman will tell you that contributed highly to their survival was, one, the training, the extensive training they received, and second, but more importantly, was the conditioning. There was nobody they faced as well conditioned as the forcemen were.
That sort of thing has a way of developing a comradeship that you don't get in normal life.
The training received was a very great importance in learning to operate together, to understand each other, to respect each other, and to be helpful to each other in any way possible.
The feeling I had is that we learned through our training, and it was pretty rough, to respect each other.
We're now standing on Marshall Field, the drop zone at Fort Harrison, and this is the actual drop zone that was used in 1942 and 43, so their airborne training was conducted right here.
We were not expecting within 1 week to be having orientation flights in a plane and jumping out of it within the side of a week. That's not what the normal airborne guys did. It took them months before they got that far.
They harnessed up one day, they jumped out of some mock-up the next day, and the third day they were going out of the airplane. And at the time, and with the acceleration of the training, if you didn't go out the door on your first jump, then you were sent home.
And once we'd made our 2 jumps, we just moved on. And we started doing mountain climbing and getting demolitions.
We had to learn unarmed combat, we had to learn skiing.
We didn't blow up the whole of Montana, but we tried. Some things that weren't supposed to be blown up.
I didn't know how to box. I still don't. One of my buddies, he was a bit of an amateur boxer. He beat the hell out of me several times, trying to teach me how to box. I'll never forget that.
Well, we got going in our training, and we finished with the jumping and some of the mountain climbing and a few of the other things. Just for conditioning, we usually went about 3 25-mile route marches a week.
But in 6 months, we had been viciously trained to do the job.
By the time we had finished our training, it didn't matter whether you're Canadian or American.
Everybody was working together, training together for the mission.
We found out in due time that the purpose of the unit was to go into Norway and remove the hydroelectric power plants. The Germans were heading down the road of making or trying to make an atomic bomb.
In the midst of all this preparation, however, came unexpected news.
All of a sudden discovered what we're training for was no longer going to be done. We're supposed to go into Norway.
The enemy occupied Norway, and they would take it out on the people if something happened against their war effort.
They figured there'd be too many reprisals for if we went in to do what we were going to do. So that didn't happen.
The mission to Norway was indeed scrapped, but the training and conditioning of the 1st Special Service Force had not gone unnoticed, and would be put to use elsewhere in the war, in other equally, if not more, dangerous missions.